Energy, effort, and passion Major League players invest in their craft. But hey, the fans are invested too. This young Madden didn't get the result he or the Pirates wanted yesterday, but he reminds us all of how much it means to be a true fan of a team and how much that can sometimes hurt. But the reward for such devotion often
There's nothing like a little home cooking, and tonight the cooking's being done on the North Shore. It could be a great one tonight. Game one of a three-game series between the Atlanta Braves and your Pirates. National League wild card standings. The Bucks and Braves tied 1.5 games out of that second wild card spot. Hi again, everybody, with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett. Dan Potash will join us tonight. And Steve, when you take a look at what's happening with the Pirates, home cooking is a good thing. You look at their home record, the Pirates have been very good at PNC Park.
Absolutely right. And, you know, you can't do anything about that 5-game road trip. It was miserable, but the Pirates are back home where they played the best, and the numbers bear it out. Take a look. Up and down the chart, the Pirates have been much better at home. Now, I don't know why that is, but it is, and that's the fact that you want to keep track of because they are back home, and they can do some damage now in the wild card and in the division with a good series against the Braves, and then go on the road and do some good business against the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't think there's any reason for panic in the streets.
When you look at first base tonight, no, you won't be looking in a mirror. Pedro Alvarez makes his first Major League start at first base. He's been working hard for the last week plus to get ready for this night.
And I think one of the things I'm going to watch is his footwork. First of all, establishing that angle that he's practicing on right there. The scoops will come or they won't come, but make sure he gets his feet positioned right for those throws, get squared up. He's able to handle the throws both to first base and to home if he needs to.
Well, Pedro making his debut at first base tonight. Vance Worley and Irvin Santana, the pitching matchup. Yes, 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 the Pirates hoping to enjoy the comforts at home. Lineups and first pitch coming up.
Chrysler 200, America's import. By Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
Pedro Alvarez taking the field and not going to his customary position of third base. He'll start as a first baseman for the first time in his big league career tonight, something that he has been working toward. Pirates and Braves tonight, game one of this three-game series. Braves lineup brought to you by Honda. Jason Hayward will lead off. Andrelton Simmons, a shortstop, at second, and Freeman. And Justin Upton's got a eight-game hitting streak, hitting .360 with 5 extra base hits during that time. Chris Johnson's at third base. Tommy Listello, the second baseman. Jared Laird behind the plate. Emilio Bonifacio, the switch hitter. Former Cub is in center field. And Urban Santana doing the pitching. He'll make his first appearance ever against the Pirates.
Facing Vance Worley, who is making start number 11. Just a little bump in the road last start against the Tigers, where they knocked him around for 9 hits in 5 innings. But the previous 4 starts, he was absolutely terrific. And keep track of his control. Take a look at the control numbers. 10 starts, just 11 free passes. That's been a real plus for Vance.
Defensively behind Worley, it's brought to you by Volvo. Snyder, Marte, Polanco, the outfield. Brent Morel starts at third base tonight. Harrison at short again. And Russell Martin behind the plate, catching Vance Worley. Happy birthday to Roberto Clemente, who would have been 80 years old today.
Happy birthday, my friend, my teammate, my hero, Roberto Clemente.
Hayward follows the first pitch of the ball game back. We'll get some of Steve's memories of Roberto, the great one, during the course of the night tonight.
Another great thing, speaking of that particular word, would be a W. Get that sour taste out of the Pirates' mouth, and all it takes is a win tonight.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jason Hayward.
We talked about Vance Worley the last start, but the previous 4 starts, a total of 3 runs. And he's just been really, really good.
And Hayward hammers this one, and it is 1-0 Atlanta. Jason Hayward, a leadoff home run, his 10th homer of the season. And the Braves up right off the bat.
And he got all of that one. It's just one of those ones that you run into and you get it flush, and he got it flush. And the Braves are on the board. Right there in that go zone for those left-hand batters that will go down, get under the ball, and power it out of the ballpark.
Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, takes ball 1. Ball got out of here in a hurry.
With the line drive, yeah, if he gets under it, who knows, it might be wet. Just the 7th home run that Worley has given up. Done a good job of keeping the ball in the yard.
2-0 to Simmons.
And that kind of a beginning will get you back on your heels a little bit. So Vance, take a deep breath, swallow hard, and okay, that is what it is and what it was. And let's get back in that approach of getting people out.
And Simmons hits one to left field, and this ball is gone. Can you believe this? Back-to-back home runs to start the ball game, and it's 2-0 Atlanta.
Okay, enough of that.
Simmons' 6th home run.
Not exactly what we had in mind here in the top of the first. And Travis Snyder just giving this ball a look, and that's inside part of the plate. He knows.
Freddie Freeman takes outside. Just solo homers. Balls on base should worry a little more. 2-0 in the early going, and Worley looking for his first out. The 1-1 pitch. And Freeman takes inside. Fourth time the Braves have gone back-to-back this year. But they go back-to-back to lead off the game.
I doubt that many of those situations, previous three, were the first two batters of the game.
A couple of seasons ago in Cincinnati, remember the Pirates doing it with Andrew McCutchen and Jose Tabata to lead off a game against the Reds.
It's a pretty impressive start.
Freeman fouls it back, and the count is full at 3-2.
Starts with a very messy scorecard. They are solo shots, 2 runs.
Pitch inside, and Freddie Freeman walks. And when Vance Worley got ready for the start today, this is not what he envisioned.
No, 2 home runs, and then the free pass. The free pass bothers me as much as the home runs because his control has been so good.
Angel Hernandez calling the balls and strikes tonight. Vic Carapaz at first. Paul Nart is the umpire at second, and crew chief Larry Vanover over there at third base. And a ground ball past Morel into left field, and a base hit.
Okay, Ray, it's time for maybe a trip out to the mound, just to disrupt the momentum.
Ball got under the glove of Morel and out into left field. Allegheny Health Network Supermo slowing it down for us. So Upton is aboard along with Freddie Freeman at second base. 2 on, nobody out. And the batter now is the Braves third baseman Chris Johnson. That's in the dirt, blocked by Martin. That's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, but that being said,
1-0 the count to Johnson. Checks the runners, and Vance delivers. And another base hit. That one's off the glove of Walker. Freeman will come around to score. It's 3-0 before the Pirates record an out.
and that was the perfect bounce for the Braves because it got off the glove of Neil Walker, and that slowed it up in short center field. Plenty of time for Freeman to get around. Russell Martin out to talk. You see that ball getting slowed down off the glove of Neil, so it's an easy trip around third to score the third run. You need to get an out. See him looking back, seeing the ball slow down. He knows he's got the easy trip.
Well, Tommy La Stella, left-handed batter, second baseman up, runners at the corners. Fired middle infield playing for two. And La Stella will take a strike.
And by the way, you're piling up some offense for the Braves in support of a pitcher who's been pitching very well, Irvin Santana. So you don't want to let this thing go too much further down the road.
Stella swing and a miss, 0-2. Sometimes, Steve, do you find that when you started a ball game, your sights weren't quite zeroed in right away, and sometimes you might have given up a hit or two here and there until you found what you were looking for?
Yeah, but it's tough to find what you're looking for when you got the opposing team all around you.
La Stella strikes out looking.
Step in the right direction for sure. Now if you get a ground ball, you don't feel great, but you feel a heck of a lot better.
Good looking pitch there from Worley.
Well, Vance has been around long enough to know these kind of things has happened. This has happened to him before, and it's happened to every really good major league pitcher. It happens. You work your way through it.
Jared Laird, the veteran catcher, he didn't play in the recently completed series against the Oakland Athletics, a series the Braves swept. Laird down the right field line. That ball is slicing into the seats foul. Evan Gattis had the starts behind the plate for the Braves. It's Gattis's birthday today too. Apparently he gets his birthday off.
Yep,
sit out.
Why not?
And you have to think here Laird could be a good double play candidate. He's grounded into 5 of them.
They're checking with Doug DeCenzo, third base coach, just in case.
1-1. That pitch on the inside edge. And a ball and 2 strikes. The count to Laird.
Now the ultimate, of course, is what you're talking about, the double play, but a strikeout wouldn't fit too badly either. Slow this train down a little bit.
Justin Wilson celebrating his 27th birthday today.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Big day for birthdays. Pitch outside.
Spanky.
Spanky's birthday today. Yep. Mike LaValliere celebrating a birthday.
I bet he's celebrating down the boiler room. Bradenton.
He's having a cheesesteak, no doubt. Ground ball wide at third. And while we're wishing happy birthdays, big Pirate fan Bill Huddleston from Shaler, 90 years old today. Happy birthday, Bill.
Bill, give us a double play. It's a ground ball.
Two pitch to Laird. Ground ball into left field. It is 4-0 Atlanta as Upton comes in.
They got the ground ball, but it found the hole between third and short. The Braves on a roll here in the first inning.
The 5th hit in the inning off of Vance Worley, and Ray Searage will take a stroll out. Upton comes in, and here's Ray.
Well, both these teams coming into the game with a record of 64-60. Very much aware of where they are in the division standings and the wild card standings. And this is when you really start to lock in on each and every game. You get down to inning by inning, pitch by pitch, as you get your way into September.
Big start for the Braves here tonight in the first inning. 4 in. They've got 2 on and 1 out. The batter is Emilio Bonifacio, hitting 275 this season. Bonifacio was with the Cubs at the beginning of the season.
Was he ever?
And then he came back down to earth after a while.
He did. And you knew that was going to happen, but we caught him at the wrong time early in the year when he was red hot. Let's hope this uniform change keeps him cold.
Worley's 1-0 to Bonifacio. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Vance, you're in the part of the lineup now that you didn't want to be in the first inning, but the part of the lineup where you can stop this Atlanta Braves train with the number 8 and number 9 guys. So take advantage. Keep it where it is.
Just off the outside corner, 3-0. And Worley dangerously close to loading the bases here. Three balls, no strikes. Runners off first and second. And a strike into Bonifacio. Chris Johnson is at second base. Gerald Laird over at first. 3-1 to Bonifacio. And a strike is called on the outside corner. That fills it up.
Pirates needing some calls and getting a couple during this at bat. Do it one more time.
Payoff pitch, runners go. That's ball 4, and the bases are full of Braves. 8 men have come to the plate already. Second walk of the inning, and Clint Hurdle calling the bullpen. 30 pitches so far for Worley. Inauspicious beginning this evening. And now the pitcher, Irvin Santana, gets to get an at bat against the Pirates before he throws a pitch.
50 at bats. He's seen a lot of pitches.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Johnson at third base, Laird over at second. Bonifacio at first base. 0-2 pitch. Harrison a diving stop. Walker's got one, and that one thrown away. 2 runs are going to score.
They got lucky because they had the pitcher running. It was a great snag by Harrison, and then the throw wide of first base. 2 out. Everybody continues to run, and instead of the double play, the Pirates are still out there. This had a chance to be a real savior. Great snag, and it all breaks down. And Pedro working on that footwork at first base.
Here's Hayward, who started this whole mess with a leadoff home run.
Throw by Walker. You see Pedro basically the wrong foot on the wrong side of the bag. It's not easy over there. People who think it's easy with the footwork and the different type of action from third base over to first base, it is not. It's a challenge.
Hayward to right field, and Polanco is there. 10 men come to the plate. 6 of them score. Offense Worley in the top of the first inning. Pirates have some work to do with the bats when we return. Start a 6-run top of the first inning, and now Gregory Polanco trying to get something started on his own as we go to the bottom of the first inning. The Braves jumping all over Pirates starter Vance Worley tonight. Let's take a look at the Pirates lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Polanco at the top of the order. Josh Harrison, Neil Walker, and Russell Martin. Pedro Alvarez playing first base. Hitting next, then it's Starling Marte. Marte, those last 3 games, 5 for 12 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Snyder, Morel, and Worley round out the bottom third of the Pirates' batting order. Getting set to face right-hander Ervin Santana, who's been very tough. 5-0 since the All-Star break.
Yeah, and this guy's been around. This will be his 289th Major League start. Pitching very, very well. Maybe we can look at it this way. He's won 12. 9 of them have been at home, 3 on the road. Braves picked up a good one, and he has kind of been the rock, if you will, of what could be a disastrous second half. They've won 12 games since the break. He's won 5 of them, as you said.
Well, Worley roughed up early, and that's uncharacteristic from what we've seen out of Vance Worley this season with the Pirates. And now it's time to take matters into their own hands offensively against Santana. Polanco takes a strike.
And just to revisit that play at first base, the footwork of Pedro Alvarez is certainly an issue, but also the wide throw. So I don't know. It might have been a double problem. The throw certainly was wide. We had a couple things going on in a negative fashion.
0-1 pitch. Polanco pops this one back into the seats. Neil Walker with a throwing error. He doesn't make many errors.
No, he doesn't.
You're going to make a few during the course of a season, and he makes very few. All 2 strikes now to Polanco. One ball, 2 strikes. Polanco to center field. Bonifacio over the shoulder catch, and there's one out.
I don't know that much about Santana, but I know he does have a very striking glove that he works with.
Hard to miss.
That's like neon.
Yeah. Batteries going there somewhere probably.
But he has won 117 Major League games, so he can probably use whatever kind of glove he wants. Never faced the Pirates.
Santana with a 1 out. Now will face Josh Harrison. Harrison batting .309. And Josh will take strike 1. I think if you saw anything out of the top of the first inning, Vic Carapazza showing a wide strike zone tonight. I mean, Angel Hernandez, I beg your pardon, showing a wide strike zone tonight. And we saw another example of it there.
Hearing it a little bit from the Pirate bench early on.
Well, both pitches outside, both pitches called strikes or outside the strike zone. Now Josh with a base hit to right. And the Pirates have a man aboard. Well, I guess you better be up there swinging tonight.
Yep. Nice bit of hitting by Josh, taking that pitch up and away and sending it up and away to right field.
Well, Harrison aboard. 1 on, 1 out. Neil Walker at the plate.
Santana has given up 10 home runs in his first 23 starts.
Walker batting .275, 16 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Neil starting in back-to-back games. Says his back has been feeling as good as it's been. And Walker with a base hit. First and second.
Well, step number 1 is to answer with something. anything, 1 run, 4 runs, whatever you can put up on the board just to let the Braves know you're here.
Just keep hitting them where they're not. Pretty simple, isn't it?
Keep hitting them right there. Yeah, nobody there where those 2 base hits landed.
Russell Martin looking out at Santana. He takes up high for a ball.
Santana, 31 years old, 6'2", 185 pounds. And that's all we know about him because we got nothing else from the Braves PR department. Can't believe we don't have a bio, but we don't.
Time is called. That's a ball up high. Now Martin went 1 for 1 with the runners in scoring position last night in Washington. He's got 15 hits in his last 30 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Martin leading all National League players with a .384 batting average. Runners in scoring position. Our Barrel Automotive League leader stat. National League highest batting average at home. Top team, no real surprise in Colorado, but the Pirates right behind them.
I will send my apologies over to the PR department for the Braves because we were just handed some bio information.
Martin pops this one up. And the right fielder Hayward will make the catch, and they're 2 out. See that power you wield, Steve? You throw it out there, and the next second it shows up here.
How about that? All-Star 2008. A couple of 16-win seasons for Santana with the Angels in a 17 season here.
So here is the first baseman, Pedro Alvarez. Left-handers, by the way, hitting nearly 300 against Santana. As opposed to right-handers who are hitting 214. A little bit off speed, and Pedro missed it.
He sees a lot of those deliveries on the first pitch of at bats. There's the numbers versus lefties, righties. Big difference. He comes back with a 92 mile an hour, 93 mile an hour fastball, about 10 miles per hour faster.
Runners off first and second. This one gets behind the catcher, and the runners will move up. Baird couldn't hang on to it. But it's a strike to Pedro. That should be a pass ball.
Through the wicket. It moves up now. Base hit. A couple runs.
Wild pitch is the official scoring on that. So 1-2 to Alvarez. Santana delivers. And Pedro takes another one in the dirt. Two men out, and the job for Pedro to get at least Josh Harrison home. Yesterday, Pedro had a couple of hits in Washington. He ended up with 4 hits in the series there. The 2-2. And Pedro strikes out on a changeup. 2 men left at the end of 1. 6-0 Atlanta.
But trust me when I tell you, good things happening at the ballpark earlier this afternoon. I want to introduce you to young Connor McManus, who had his dream come true earlier today by taking in Pirates batting practice, where he not only met manager Clint Hurdle, but many other Pirates, including the MVP, Andrew McCutchen. He would later also throw out the first pitch. It's all part of Bert's Big Adventure, a nonprofit organization that provides an all-expenses-paid trip to Walt Disney World for children with chronic or terminal illnesses. Now, the Bert Show is a radio program based in Atlanta where Connor lives, and when they learned that Connor was also a Pirates fan, they added this trip to the ticket, if you will, so that he could come up and see the Pirates take on the Braves. Hey guys, whether it's the Make-A-Wish Foundation or Bert's Big Adventure, the smile says it all, does it not?
Yep, dreams come true.
Yes.
Those kind of dreams, absolutely.
It does. He had a wonderful time today, and Pirates very accommodating to him. There's a ground ball hit by Andrelton Simmons. Josh Harrison throws him out, one gone in the top half of the second inning. Gerald Laird, the catcher, that's his throwing hand getting it iced. Like the palm or the lower part of his throwing hand that apparently had some sort of issue with. Freddie Freeman. No balls and one strike. And Freeman takes on the inside part of the plate or thereabouts, and it's 0-2. Freeman walked and scored in the first. One and two. That's trying to go in there. And after you have an inning where you've given up a few like you did in the first, you have a chance to settle down in the dugout. What's going through your mind as you head out for the second?
I better get this thing right or I'm not going to be around very long. There's the wiggle and the delivery. Ball fouled down the left field line. Yeah, you're okay. That's a fresh start. Let's get things under control. Let's do better. You know you're capable of doing it. It's an inning that got away, and you know you're still out there. So you can't do anything about the first inning. It's now the second inning. That's gone.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Freeman with a 292 average.
Not trying to be a Pollyanna, but I know that every major league pitcher worth his salt has had these kind of starts and come away with a win. If you stay around long enough, it'll happen at some point. And yeah, it sounds ridiculous. Yep, but I've seen it happen too many times. Don't expect that it's automatic, that you're going to see things that you think are coming in a major league game.
Payoff pitch to Freeman. Okay, you just never know.
You don't know.
You've seen crazy things in this game.
Yeah, I've seen it. I lived it. I've been knocked out in the first inning, a number of times, but I've given up runs up to 5 runs. I don't know if I ever gave up 6, but it's happened a couple times, so I know it can happen.
Rattles around in the Braves dugout. That ball fouled back.
Plus, you owe your team your best effort. You get knocked around, slapped around. You owe yourself and your team your best effort, no matter what's happening. It's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Freeman in the air to left field. Snyder drifting back. On the edge of the track, Travis Snyder makes the catch. 2 out.
And there's another indication the ball is carrying nicely. That was not a factor on those 2 home runs. The wind had nothing to do with it. But that ball that was sliced the other way by Freeman sailed along out there to left field quite a ways.
Freeman worked a 9-pitch at bat against Worley. Worley with 46 pitches already in the game. We're just in the second. So he'd like to get some quick outs.
Yeah, when you're going to be throwing 50 pitches in the first 2 innings.
Upton is now 2 for 2. 2-out single for Justin Upton. Pirates are playing him to hit the other way, and he hit it to the wide open right side.
Ho-hum bouncing ground ball that ho-hummed its way into right field.
Chris Johnson, third baseman, an RBI base hit last inning. Formerly with the Astros, swing and a miss. And it's 0-1 to Johnson. It is a big series. Certainly we've been talking about it for a while, aiming at this series, because both the Pirates and Braves battling for that spot in the wild card position. Of course, both teams still have their sights set on the division. Pirates 5.5 in back of the Brewers with 37 games to play after tonight. And the Braves 6 back of the Washington Nationals. And 6 games to play against the Nationals.
And all of that will not be determined by tonight's baseball game. But you know, you start to look down the line at the finish line. So yeah, take on added importance.
Pedro holding Upton on at first base. And strike 3 call as Johnson goes down looking. Oh, that's a hit, a man left. Into the bottom of the second, 6-0 Atlanta. $19.99. The Bucks beat the Reds 12-6. Dale Swaim homered from each side of the plate, becoming just the second player in Pirates history to do that. He homered from the left side of the plate off Brett Tomko in the 5th, then batting righty in the 6th off Gabe White. Brian Giles, Ed Sprague, and Al Martin also hit home runs for the Pirates in that ball game.
See, you can give up 6 and win 12-6.
See, it's possible.
Been done.
Yeah. Starling Marte takes a strike. Nothing in 1-2. Starling Marte leading off the bottom of the second inning. And Marte hits one well to the gap in right center field. This ball going back, and this ball's gone. It's off the railing and out of here. And the Pirates on the board at 6-1.
Instant offense. Add water and serve. That's a pretty good go direction. Go zone out to right center field, and Marte got a lot of it.
Well, they got one back.
Quickly. Up and out over the plate.
And Travis Snyder got a little bit of that one, and that is strike 1.
Okay. Did he get enough? Sure. Because it keeps going in the good direction. Not back to the Braves.
And there was a fan out there that caught the ball, might have prevented it from bouncing over the back wall and going into the river.
You know, that's what you call being efficient, not wasting any distance. You know, you hit it just far enough, get the home run. Anything more than that's kind of wasted distance. Right over that padded railing, and then kept on trucking. The guy in the white hat there.
He's got it. Third time this year Marte has homered on an 0-1 pitch.
Just a little footnote, as we learned from Mr. Santana 2 years ago, threw up 39 home runs, thank you very much, to lead the American League. 39.
Simmons snares it. He throws high, and Snyder is safe. The throats at Freeman up off the bag, and Freeman might have got tangled up with Snyder. Snyder tumbled over the base, and Freeman came away with a limp.
Great snag by Simmons to get the ball, and then the throw just high enough to lift that foot as Travis is going by.
Andrelton Simmons is one of the better defensive shortstops you're going to see.
Nice play there.
Allegheny Health Network Super Mo slowing it down for us, giving us a good look.
Yep, but now you get the drive by. Snyder underneath.
Yep, got the
maybe a clip on the way by.
So nobody out, a runner aboard. One run is in.
Dig your heels in. We might be in store for a barn burner.
Morel the hitter. Let's take a look at the clip right there. Morel ahead of that off-speed pitch. Inside.
Here's where you'd like to keep it going, because you scored the quick run, you got a base hit. Now that the guy in the number 8 spot gets on, you let your pitcher move him over, and you really got something going.
And Morel brought back just a couple of days ago. He called on Sunday.
Important for Brent now to force Santana to throw a strike.
Oh my goodness. Morel is rung up on a ball in the dirt.
Well, we'll want to take another look at this one, and Clint Hurdle has seen enough of that one. He doesn't need to see a replay.
And Hernandez, we've shown you already, has had a big strike zone. How big is it? Well, that was a little closer than I thought, but still low. So a full count to Morel.
He's had a generous strike zone from the first pitch of the game.
Popped him up, foul ground. Back pocket for Freddie Freeman. Instead of having a man on, Pirates have an out. And this was a frustrating thing about yesterday's game in Washington. Ike Davis was up with the bases loaded, took a pitch up by his neck for ball 4, but it was called a strike. Pirates should have kept that inning going, but it's just a frustrating thing when you see the ball that's out of the strike zone and you lose a base runner.
Thought Johnson was going to be playing back for a minute with this bunt situation, but here he comes.
And Worley pushes the bunt to the right side. Santana tosses to LaStella covering. Sacrifice bunt for Worley. With Snyder at second base, and there are 2 men out. Pirate fans, we want to see how you root for the Bucks. Be our AT&T fan photo of the game. Show us the most unique ways you raise the Jolly Roger. The fun places you watch the games on Root Sports, or how you display your Pirate pride. Submit a picture to us via Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during our telecast tonight. Maybe if you have some Clemente memorabilia, maybe something surrounding Clemente tonight that you can think of.
I do at home.
This would be good.
It would have been fun to watch him play right field in this ballpark. I don't know if it would be called the Clemente Wall because he wouldn't be gone yet. He would be in close like he was at Forbes Field to make those rocket throws.
Gregory Polanco telling us on Twitter Tuesday how much of an honor it is for him to be able to play right field here.
Let's see if you can tattoo that Clemente Wall. What a beautiful job that Manny Lopez and his guys did. Very, very understated, very classy way to commemorate that. Just a little bit out in front for Gregory.
Polanco broke an 0 for 19 skid with a big clutch double in the 9th inning last night. Well, Roberto Clemente could go get it, couldn't he, Steve?
Yep. One of his catches. That's at Wrigley Field. The previous one was during the World Series in 1971. And there's hit number 3,000 off John Matlack on a Saturday afternoon. Bob Prince saying a double for Roberto. That's the classic pose, standing on second base. With 21. Nobody else will wear it in this city.
A lot more than just a ball player.
Yeah, and you know, the legacy, just proof of the pudding. Every year, how many years have been? 40, 30 years? And there's still something written every year. There's a school or a street or a public park named after Clemente. Some kind of a documentary every year after all these years. It was just an honor. It was an absolute honor to be on the same field with him for 9 or 10 years. And Gregory Polanco is exactly right, and I tip my cap to Gregory at his young age for keeping track of all that. By the way, that base hit and that swing he had, was it yesterday's game when he hit it deep? That was just a classic swing. I really enjoyed watching the replays of that. That was vintage, wonderful swing. Hope you have a lot of years of doing that, young man. You got a chance to do that too.
Marte's home run gets the Pirates on the board this inning. Snyder in scoring position. 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Gregory Polanco. Irvin Santana ready. And the bouncer to deep first base. This will be a foot race, and it's won by Santana. Pirates do get the run and leave a man. We'll go to the 3rd inning. Thinking of the great one on his 80th birthday. special edition of Inside Pirates Baseball. You'll find out why. Some of it's obvious, like his strength and accuracy behind the plate, but there's more to Martin's talents, both on and off the field. Explore them all on Inside Pirates Baseball. Super Russ, debuting Friday at 7 on Root Sports. Travels with that skateboard now.
Travels with the skateboard?
Yeah, but made its way on the road trip. And Russ, pretty talented guy. Tommy Listello, the second baseman, struck out looking in the first inning. He takes a strike from Vance. Now a 5-run Atlanta lead. Lots of time for the Buccos to continue to chip away tonight. Vance Worley trying to hold the Bravos where they are. Strike 2. Prior to tonight, in Worley's 5 second-half starts, he had a 162 earned run average. Pitch up high, 1-2.
And that in spite of last time out, 3 earned runs in a little over 5 innings. He's been very, very good. And it's amazing. You give up 6 in the first inning, you go out, second inning, all of a sudden it's all together, a little bouncy kind of a base hit, but other than that, comfortable.
Leadoff single for Listello. That was the 7th hit for the Braves.
So among other things, you want to get yourself together. You want to keep it where it is. You also want to extend your outing to protect your bullpen a little bit. Trying to do whatever you can to keep this thing together.
Ground ball to short. Flip to Walker. There's one. Back to first. Double play.
That's the way it works.
Well, Jared Laird hitting into the double play, but in the wrong inning. Take him when you get him. Two down, base is empty for Emilio Bonifacio.
And you're talking about an overview of trying to do what you can for your ball club. Now you get Bonifacio, you have the pitcher leading off next inning, takes you into the 4th inning. Keep the ball rolling as well as you can, in spite of what has happened beforehand.
Slap fouling out of play. Bonifacio acquired from the Cubs by the Braves. Adds some outfield depth. He was hitting primarily at the top of the order for the Cubs. And hitting down toward the bottom of the order for Atlanta. Takes a strike there. 1-2. You can do a lot with the bat. He handles it pretty well. He'll even run up and try to slap hit occasionally. There's strike 3. Got him. Worley sits down Emilio Bonifacio. We're through 2.5, 6-1 Atlanta. This is tonight's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Bucks brought in Jeff Inman, a Double-A pitcher from Altoona, to pitch live BP to Kutch today, and everything seemed to go a-okay. Get well soon. Well, soon is very soon. And Andrew McCutchen joining us live downstairs. And Kutch, I've been watching you hit when you were in Washington. You've been running the bases. You say you don't feel any pain anymore, right?
Nah, man, I'm ready to go. I've sat around long enough and feeling really good right now. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow and get these guys going again.
Andrew, how about live pitching today against that young man? How about the mid-body torque when you turned fully?
Oh man, it feels great. I feel like I got Wolverine blood. You know, I don't feel anything. I felt really great today, and I felt awesome, phenomenal during live BP too.
How much of a pain in the neck have you been to Clint Hurdle, Andrew?
None at all. It's just the players mostly. Like Abby's right now behind me, hit me with seats, so I'm hitting him back. You know, I got mine too. So, you know, I've been all right with Hurdle and training staff, but these players, like Gabby,
life on the bench is not much fun, is it?
It's not a whole lot of fun. You run out of things to do. I'm wondering, like, what can I do next? You know, it's a lot of fun, but at the same time, you get bored pretty quick.
Well, you've never sat this long before, have you? I mean, you've never been on the DL, obviously, but have you ever sat out this long before?
I haven't gone more than 2 days, and that's included an off day. So, yeah, 15 days is a very long time. It seems like an eternity, and you know, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Andrew, as you make your way through this bombardment you're getting, tell us what I want to get your thoughts on the first inning the Braves had. Is hitting contagious when a team gets on that kind of roll?
Yeah, it is. Hitting is really contagious because you see it, and you see someone do something, and it's like you want to do it yourself. You want to get going. You feel like you have a little bit of I don't know, like you're just ready to go. You know, and it's like, okay, and now he's doing it, and I want to do it. So definitely is contagious, just like pitching too.
Well, I'm with you in the dugout, getting bombarded by seeds and other things during your time away. How impressed have you been with guys like Travis Snyder and Starling? You know, guys who have been trying to pick up the slack in your absence.
Hey, these guys have been doing an amazing job, and I love watching them play, man. They're doing an awesome job. Right as Mark Walker hits a homer.
Walker crushes it. It is completely out. It's in the river. Splashdown. Neil Walker's first river ball, and it's 6-2.
I guess I should stay on here.
I think you should.
You're a terrific cheerleader, Andrew. You know, when you grew up, you can hit a ball like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's fun to watch, isn't it?
It is. It is fun to watch. Fun to see that you know, home runs like that. Doesn't matter how many you hit. It's always great to see one of your fellow teammates do it.
Well, home run number 17 for Neil Walker, a career high for him. And that ball is floating and starting to sink into the Allegheny River. Just out of sight right now. Wow, that was some shot by Walker. And Andrew McCutchen with us from the dugout.
Might as well do it, Russ. Russ might as well do it too.
Gabby with a celebratory maneuver,
I don't know if that's the end of the seeds, but
no, it's definitely not. He's going to keep it going. I keep catching them though. I know. Thank you.
Pitch outside to Russell Martin. Let's take a look at this one again.
That is in the go zone. Up and in, not too far in, not too far up.
And the pitch to Russ.
That's been an interesting strike zone, has it not been tonight?
Be ready, 2 strikes.
Yeah.
That's all.
And is that kind of the philosophy you have to take when you got a wide strike zone? I mean, you have to be aware of it because it's his strike zone, not yours, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to be ready to go with 2. You know, anything that he throws close to the strike zone, you know, you just got to protect. But it definitely takes away that You know, just any type of aggression that you have to want to really hit the ball, drive it, it takes it away once you get 2 strikes.
Here's the 3-2 to Martin. That's up on all 4. The Pirates with a base runner. Kutch, how does it make you feel, you know, when you see the support the fans have given you? There's a sign we're showing right now, get better, Andrew McCutchen, and we've seen these signs all over the place. How does it make you feel knowing you've got the support that you have?
Oh, you know, it's awesome. I love the support from the fans and from everyone everywhere. It's awesome, and you know, I really appreciate it. And you know, I just like to say I'm just a guy who's a little injured and on a little break, but you know, I just left the Children's Hospital. I want those people, those kids, I want them to get better. So they're the heroes there, and you know, I hope they get better.
There's a perspective there for sure. Andrew, we've never seen Ervin Santana, but his background has shown that he is vulnerable to the long ball. We got a couple tonight. Are you a big video guy with guys you haven't seen?
Oh yeah, I watched their last start. That's really all I care about. But you know, from there, that's it.
Well, a double play ends the inning. Walker gets the home run. Kutch, thanks for joining us and getting Neil a homer.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew McCutchen says he's coming back tomorrow. 6-2 Braves.
Is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. By the Chevy Impala and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Neil Walker with his first river ball. That's the 35th all time. It traveled 432 feet. That was the estimated distance.
That'll get it.
First one put in there this year by a Pirate.
You know what? That kind of home run too. It's so much fun because it's up in the air so long. You can really enjoy those majestic, high, towering fly balls when your guys hit them.
Ervin Santana will lead off for the Braves. And Worley delivery. That one is in for a strike.
A couple of zeros after that first inning for Vance. Keep that going for as long as you can, and Clint will have you out there, and then we'll see what develops after that.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. Well, it's good to have Andrew on, and I asked Clint Hurdle about his return date a couple of days ago. We were in Washington, and he said, well, he's eligible on Tuesday, but he's going to come back when he's ready to go 100%. And I think hearing the words of Andrew McCutchen, he'll be in the lineup hitting third tomorrow.
If sounds are reality, he's ready to go.
He's more than ready.
Yeah, that tone of voice, enthusiasm that we see.
Santana down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Vance Worley.
And the thing is about live pitching too, You know, sometimes the mind has to convince the body to turn it loose, and he says he's turning well without any discomfort, and that's where all that was, in the middle part of the body, and that's a lot of torque when you turn a real major league swing loose. So if that is holding up with that, then it's certainly a good sign.
And the other thing they're always concerned about is the base running, you know, running full speed and having a turn at second or third.
With the quick starts and stops in baseball. But you know, the whole thing too with this, you know, you want Andrew back, you want Cole back. Those are two of your studs. You want them back.
Cole will be back. He'll
Yep.
pitch Wednesday.
Yep.
In Charlie Morton's spot. Charlie on the DL now.
You need them both.
So both those guys will be back this week. I'll get Jordy Mercer back again. Mercer was taking ground balls at short today, but not throwing to first. Says his arm feels better though. 2-0 pitch. Hayward, a chopper to the right side. Pedro's got it. Tossed to Worley. Too late. And a base hit for Hayward. Part of the growing pains of learning the position.
Well, that took an awfully high bounce. I don't know if they're good. There's really good speed with Hayward. I don't know if they're going to get him or not. He's up in the air a long time. And to be quite honest, Vance didn't get there in time either.
Well, I think one of those challenging moments as a first baseman that you run into is, do I let it go, even though you have range? And he's used to ranging from third base over towards short to try to get things that might be out of his reach. But watch where Walker is. And this is a little bit different on this side of the infield with the second baseman there.
Yep.
And that's just something that you learn over time and you get a feel for, I guess.
Yep. Well, we've had 3 or 4 occasions where first basemen have really wandered far away, and you know, you wonder if they stay home, you can get the play done that way.
Andrew's got some leftover seeds in the hat. Andrelton Simmons batting with 1 out and a man on. Fouls this one away. Simmons homered in the first, grounded out to short in the second. Early after the bad start has settled down okay. This one into the upper deck on the right side, foul. 1-2 to Simmons.
I think he's swinging hard enough at those 2 pitches. From a pitcher standpoint, that would get your attention. You might at some point want to let him know you're out there. I mean, those were vicious swings. See where Russell sets up. We're going to go back out away.
Yep. Struck him out.
Perfecta.
Worley sits down Simmons. And there are 2 gone in the inning for Atlanta.
That was a perfect delivery, as you can see.
Two away. Nice night here. Good warm evening. We're on the backside of August, sliding towards September, believe it or not. This is game number 125 on the regular season.
We mustn't rush the end of summer. We almost 2 weeks left in August.
Let's enjoy it.
What a great turnout again. See it night after night.
Pitch is up high to Freeman. A couple of more chances to see the Pirates on this homestand tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Just a brief 3-game stop in town. Take on the Braves, and it's a travel day on Thursday and then out to Milwaukee for the weekend, and what'll be a key Central Division series.
Another off day for you guys, huh?
That's not. It's travel days. Swing and a miss.
Thank John Wayner, by the way, for standing in last Tuesday, the last day of that homestand.
Yeah, we thought you called off sick, and then we saw you sitting in the stands.
I heard the whole thing.
Heard the whole bit.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
It was all set up.
I thank you, Rock, but well, thank you.
Freeman fouls it off, and that is strike 2, 1-2.
So I get another taste of taking a son or a grandson to a ball game.
Yeah,
still nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Neat opportunity. It looked like
I've never done
Chris
it
was
before.
having a good time.
Yep.
Hayward at first base, held on by Alvarez. Pitch outside.
And Vance getting out in front of that breaking ball, trying to pick up that outside corner, that backup breaking ball that the hitters will think are going to stay out there, and all of a sudden ducks in, picks up that outside corner. You get a lot of call third strikes. You do it properly. He's a little ahead of himself on that one. Still wanted out there in that outside corner. There he picks it up.
Strike 3. Strikes out the side with an infield hit mixed in. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Pirates down by 4. Of Inside Pirates Baseball. Find out how Gregory Polanco is adjusting after his first 2 months in the big leagues. Visit the Pirates Fantasy Camp held in Wheeling, West Virginia, where some local kids were treated like big leaguers. It's Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Tonight at the postgame on Root Sports. Jay Hay all day, and hopefully all night tonight. There's Marte. Starts us off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 6-2 Atlanta in game 1 of this 3-game series. Pirates had not played the Braves yet this year. The only National League team they have not played this season. And Marte clubs one to center field. This one's back. This one's gone. 2 home runs for Starling Marte. And the Pirates have cut the lead in half.
That jet stream in right center field, nothing cheap about it. Bonifacio took one step and stopped and just took a look. I mean, that's up halfway into the grandstand. That didn't hit the railing. That might have been on the rise by the time it went by the railing.
Second time in his career he's had a 2-home run game. Last June 25th in Seattle in an interleague game, he had 2. Well, the Pirates' offense has all been generated by the long ball tonight.
Well, that is right down Grant Street.
Wow. Well, I guess Urban Santana was susceptible to giving up the home run.
We talked about the 39 2 years ago. That might have prompted his move from Los Angeles to the Kansas City Royals last year before becoming a Brave late in spring training this year. Impressive work.
Snyder's got the power to do the same thing. That ball was crushed.
Yeah, you can see almost clearing the grandstand.
First time this year that Santana has allowed 3 home runs in a single game.
Yeah, it came in having done good work this year compared to 2 years ago. 23 starts before tonight, just 10 home runs, but 3 taters tonight.
But he's been susceptible to it in the past. 17 other times in his career he's given up 3 homers or more in a game. 3-2, and Snyder up in the air to right field. Hayward back. Hayward on the track, and he makes the catch up against the wall.
So close, just a tad under the center of the ball. Just missed that one, and he'll come back and they will all tell him, man, you just missed it. I thought it still had enough. That ball's upstairs. That's in that go zone. Didn't miss it by much. Mr. Laird wants to talk to Mr. Santana about distance.
The Badlands battling their way back tonight.
The art of fencing by Hayward.
The art of fencing. There's Brent Morrell. He'd like to get into one for sure. He popped out foul to Freeman. And this year, Steve, Pirates have homered 3 or more times in a game, 8 different times. So they have played some long ball. And the previous 7 times they've hit 3 or more in a game, their record 6-1.
And you know, you might look at the scorecard and say, boy, I wish there were a lot of people on base, but you can't write that script. When you're up at the plate, you're trying to hit the ball hard. If it goes over the fence, you can't automatically say, oh boy, I want 3 guys on base, by the way, when I did that last pitch. Can't do that. They come when they come.
It's always a bonus when there are guys on, but you take them when you get them. 3 solo shots tonight, 2 by Marte, 1 by Walker.
Braves home runs, solo shots.
And Russ chased it. And, Morrell, beg your pardon, not Russ. Brent Morrell is out on strikes, and there's 1 gone. Now it's 2.
Second strikeout for Santana, came in with almost a strikeout per inning. Down in the dirt.
Two outs as Morrell strikes out. Vance Worley, the batter. You know, the last hit, I think it was the last one he had in AAA before being called up to the major leagues this year, was a home run for AAA Indianapolis. That's to the gap. That ball is down and going to the wall. Worley into second base with a 2-out double.
Pirates getting their swings in.
First extra base hit for Vance Worley.
And perfectly slicing away from the center fielder, Bonifacio. Never an issue for Hayward to be able to make the play on it. And because the right-hand batter slicing it away from the center fielder, he got action. Just kept running away. Popular neighborhood for Pirate batters. Right center field. Look at the speed.
And Worley is standing up with his 3rd career double. Now Polanco up. 2 down, 1 on. And a strike called to Polanco. Gregory gets into one. This script flips in a hurry. Almost hit him. He's got the junior fatheads.
Beg your pardon?
That's what they're called. They're called fatheads.
Okay.
It's nothing negative, Steve.
Hey, I'm just saying.
You stick it on the wall. It's a wall decoration.
junior fathead.
Yeah, they're
seen
smaller.
the big ones. Yeah, you put up.
Yeah, they're smaller. And we got another one coming up. I think it's Garrett Cole. That'll be in September. So yeah, fathead.
So I guess
it's
that's
nothing
a compliment.
derogatory.
Yeah, I guess
it's a compliment. It's
yeah,
great.
somebody comes up to me and say, "I like your fathead." I'm sorry.
Say thank you very much.
Okay.
3-1 to Polanco.
Certainly a good hitter's count for a particular pitch here.
Jay on deck. 2 down. Worley at second base. Santana's 3-1. Popped up. Foul ground. Will it make the dugout? Oh yeah.
Yep.
They kept spinning and spinning and just made it over the dugout.
And Santana's been around long enough. He didn't give in to throw him the fastball. Threw him an off-speed pitch and had Gregory way out in front. You've got a veteran. Again, this is what I think his 290th major league start. So this guy, he knows what are hitter counts and what are not. Which counts are in his favor, which are not. And it wouldn't be totally out of character to see him stay soft, Gregory, not give up to the fastball. Well, stay tuned. See what he goes with.
Payoff pitch to Polanco. Broken bat roller. Just jammed him. And Freeman tosses to Santana covering. But another run on the board for the Bucks. Starling Marte brought this big crowd to his feet with his second home run of the ball game.
Cannonballs tonight, and cannonballs can do some damage, and we've got some damage going on down at McKechnie Field in Bradenton, Florida. That, my friends, is what remains of the Pirates clubhouse at McKechnie Field, where they have actually called home since 1969. But out with the old and in with the new. They are tearing it down so that the Pirates and the Marauders, for that matter, will have a brand new 22,000 square foot clubhouse, training facility, kitchen, food service, and baseball operations center. It will be ready for spring training when the Buccos go down, and I'm sure you guys will get a chance to enjoy it, will you not?
Oh, what a party they had there, huh? Great.
Yeah, it looked like it.
That'll be sensational.
It's the first Bucco game. She's got the right outfit on.
Yeah. There have been renovations and improvements to the facilities in Bradenton since we first went there in 1969. They've done a wonderful job. The Pirates coordinating with the city of Bradenton, upgrading along the years, various aspects, various phases, and this is no surprise that it's just going to continue to get better and better, as we expect will happen with Starling Marte.
Marte, big night so far. 6-3 Braves, top of the fifth. Upton bounces the first pitch to J-Head. One pitch and one out. That's just how Vance likes it.
And while we have a moment too, let's add our thoughts and condolences to the family of Sophie Masloff, our former mayor, who was loved when she took office, and that love affair just got better and better through the years. What a great lady, and what great work she did for the city of Pittsburgh. And you know, and she was the one that said we need a baseball only park for the Pirates. She said it way back when nobody agreed, nobody said anything to encourage that, but Sophie had the vision. And you didn't get to know her, Tim, but she had the voice that could set off a car alarm. I'm telling you. And you know, we all knew that. We all loved her because of the way she presented herself to all the people in this city. So we will send along our thoughts and condolences. The loss of Sophie, who lived a wonderful life, a very full and serving life.
96 years old. Passed away yesterday. And this was her vision.
Yep.
Back in 1991 when she said,
we need a baseball only ballpark. That's not too far off. And she was right.
Chris Johnson fouls it back. And it's 1-2 on Johnson. But she was right. She was absolutely right. And we see this ballpark with so many people in it now. It's a wonderful sight every night. 1-2 pitch. Got him. Johnson goes down looking for the second consecutive at bat. He's 1 for 3 now.
And I will give a big tip of the cap to Vance Worley for not collapsing, for not buckling. He got knocked around in the first inning. He has kept his ball club in the ball game, and that's part of the art of pitching.
Two down for the second baseman, Tommy La Stella. Stella had a base hit in the third, struck out looking in the first inning. So Worley with 7 strikeouts. See the patch right above the tomahawk and the letter A in Atlanta. It says Pete.
Yep. Pete Van Wieren.
Pete Van Wieren, longtime
good guy, good broadcaster, good person. Yep. They're doing well to honor him.
August 2nd, he passed away
a couple weeks ago.
When the Braves were on the Superstation years ago, before baseball is the way it is today in terms of coverage.
Yep.
Pete with Don Sutton. The country saw Pete Van Wieren and Skip Carey.
Yeah. Go back to Ernie Johnson. It's a great legacy of broadcasters for the Braves over the years.
Foul ball right off the foot of La Stella. Got him in the arm action on the way back up. 0-2 pitch. That's up high, and now it's 1-2.
Good work.
Well, good bounce back, certainly, from the troublesome first inning. To left field, and on the run is Snyder, and he'll gather it in. 1-2-3 go the Braves in the 5th. We're to the bottom of the 5th inning at PNC Park, 6-3 Atlanta. Rivertown Brewing Hall of Fame Club. It's open to all fans. All you need is a game ticket, grab a bite to eat, or enjoy drink specials after the game. It's all at the Rivertown Brewing Hall of Fame Club. Join us next time you're at the ballpark. Along with Dan Potash and Steve Blass, I'm Tim Neverett, 6-3 Atlanta. We're in game one of this three-game series, and Josh Harrison leading off. Harrison 1 for 2 tonight. Hey, Jay, hey. And Josh lifts one into right center field. Coming on is Hayward. There's one out. Josh got that one off the end of the bat. What do you think? Center fielder's ball or not?
Well, I thought that Bonifacio was very, very deep, and I thought he was a little bit late. I thought it was a good play by Hayward to slice across in front of him.
Neil Walker 2 for 2 tonight. A base hit in the first, and then a soaking wet home run into the Allegheny River. Bounced in. 35 of them all time have gone in there. 33 of them on the bounce. Just 2 directly in the air. Darrell Ward and Garrett Jones, the only 2 to put it in on the fly. Take a look at the bottom of your screen. The tweets coming in about the Marte Parte that is still going strong. (2-0). And Walker hits this one well to center field, and back on it is Bonifacio.
Playing pretty deep. This guy, his resume includes a lot of infield play, so I'm not surprised when Hayward took charge of that ball that Harrison hit. And Bonifacio will protect himself by playing, I think, maybe a little deeper than you might think against certain hitters. It's a protection thing for a guy that has played a lot of infield, perhaps. By the way, that ball hit right on the button by Neal. So some good at bats.
Well, it's Martin's turn. Russ is 0 for 1 with a walk. Strike 1 to Martin.
Well, one thing I've not seen Irvin Santana work, but very impressed with the way he uses his off-speed stuff. And he'll cut that slider, that big breaking slider. Primarily fastball, big breaking sidearm breaking ball. Cutter, slider, and the changeup.
Yeah, going back to the Walker at bat, we've seen him hit the ball hard 3 times, really hard. How important is it for the Pirates to see this right now out of Walker? You know you got him
absolutely
back. Pedro, you hope to get his bat going again, and then Kutch coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, you want as much as you can, because I mean you just got too many people that are hurting. Too many guys that play on a regular basis. And as we said to Andrew, or you mentioned to Andrew, a lot of guys have been doing really good work off the bench. But you know, you want your guys in there. You want the guys that play every day or almost every day. You want them in there. They're starters for a reason.
Well, so Martin on base again.
He has to take nothing away from some of the work that's come off the bench. Gabby and Travis and some of the other fellas that have shared playing time.
Now Pedro struck out, hit into a double play. Ball 1 to Alvarez. Alvarez can be a game changer. We have seen it so many times in the past, and hope to see it again real soon. Chopper to first base. Freeman will handle it. Pedro's 0 for 3, and the Pirates leave a man. We'll go to the 6th inning. Bucks trailing by 3 runs. day to remember, September 4th, Stage AE outdoors. Pirates trailing the Braves by 3 runs here midway through the ball game. Still a bunch of time left in this one. And Vance Worley has done a good job throwing up zeros since the first inning.
He's done a great job. Just 3 base runners allowed by Vance, one of them eliminated by the double play, and along the way has picked up 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. He's got the bottom third of the order to work against.
Pitch outside to Gerald Laird, the catcher. Laird hit into a double play last time up.
And we have a ball game because of Vance Worley and the Pirate long ball.
Laird takes inside. It's 1-1.
Vance will be throwing pitch number 92 after it seemed like he threw 150 in the first inning.
In the air to center field and deep back is Marte, and the trap makes the catch.
Had it measured. By the way, passing along some sad news, the passing away of Elmer Gray, one of the great baseball scouts. Elmer passed away at the age of 91. Great friend of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Highly decorated professional scout. Remember the days of going to visit Elmer and his wife Butch. That was her nickname. And great people and just a wonderful gentleman. And we were lucky to have him in the game of baseball. Elmer Gray, born at 91.
Ball got away from Pedro. And Bonifacio is safe. See what happened at first base. Throw and where that was.
Way on the first base side, and that's a tough play for any first baseman, reaching in the path of that runner. Catching a tailing fastball toward home plate. Error shortstop. Correct call.
Error on Harrison. Now Santana trying to bunt a man over. Frank Coonley, Pirates president, issuing a statement regarding the passing of Elmer Gray today. Said, quote, "Everyone in the Pirates family is saddened by the news of Elmer's passing. A tremendous baseball man who was respected by all in the game for his more than 60 years of dedicated service to the sport. And he was an integral part of 2 great Reds teams, which the Pirates teams of the 70s did battle with too." Thoughts and prayers going out to his family and friends. Santana's out on strikes, and there are 2 gone.
Strikeout number 8. And we see Elmer at every alumni function. Great friend. Good, classy gentleman. A life well lived, Elmer Gray.
Jason Hayward is 2 for 3. Go to first. Bonifacio back.
And 1 more out, Vance, and good chance you'll be pinch hit for if your number comes up in the bottom of the 6th, scheduled to bat 4th. You get 1 more out, and you, young man, have done a very professional job.
Ground ball left side, off of J-Hay and out into left field. And Bonifacio will be safe at 3rd.
In between hops, and Josh trying to take it on the backhand side. Skips into left field, and the Braves keep it going here in the 6th.
That'll be the 3rd hit for Hayward.
This is the short hop that just couldn't get corralled.
It's off the heel of the glove. Allegheny Health Network Supermo showing us that.
And again, that took a while to get out there. Unless they can get Bonifacio, and know if they could.
Jordy Mercer still battling with forearm tightness. Says he feels better day by day. And shouldn't be long before he will be back.
Big item right here to not let the Braves add on. And Vance Worley is going to have to pitch his way out of it, and he does.
Comebacker, and the Braves strand 2.
Great job. Great job by Vance Worley.
Worley threw 6. Three. Atlanta lead. Pirates coming to the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hoping for a comeback. Pirates come back on a number of occasions this year. Starling Marte has done tonight. 2 solo home runs. 2 for 2. He's got 8 on the season now. 42 runs batted in. 270 batting average overall. And he swings and drives one to left center field. That one is headed to the warning track. Cut off by Bonifacio, and in with a double is Marte.
Have yourself a night, Mr. Center Fielder. And if Bonifacio doesn't cut that off, you wonder if he's going to be thinking about 3 bases. Here's how it gets started. He's right on it. Good job by Bonifacio.
Marte flying around first.
Put himself in a position, if it's not cut off, and you might think about it. You might not do it, but you can't think about it if you don't hustle around first base.
Snyder just missed a long ball last time up, and he hits this one well to center field. Bonifacio back. He looks up. He doesn't get it. And Marte at third base, he had to make sure that ball was not going to be caught. But a double for Snyder, and now the Pirates with runners at second and third and nobody out.
Boy, did that ball have a lot of carry on it. I told you Bonifacio plays deep. He went down, and that ball, he had that underspin. He caught it on the bottom half of the ball. That has a tendency to make it carry more. Bonifacio almost made a spectacular play, but I guess he got the glove on it. Anyway, wound up seeing the baseball. Here you have a look. No, never did touch it. Got turned around. Maybe grazed the top of his head. Anyway, the Pirates set up shop.
Well, Brent Morel, an RBI chance now. This one off to the right, and it's 0-2. Well, Marte, he's got 11 total bases in the game already. Travis Snyder had 10 total bases on the 11th against Detroit, and Kutch had 10 on the 12th of July at Cincinnati. But Marte's got those two guys beat with 11 and trying to make it 12. Morel strikes out. One out, and the pinch hitter will be Ike Davis.
Wow. That doesn't look good. Not even close. Freddie Gonzalez wants a new pitcher.
That's going to be it for Irvin Santana. He will go to the bullpen. He wants the lefty. Pitching change at PNC Park. 6-3 Braves, and the Pirates are threatening.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Mike Davis getting set to pinch hit. Vance Worley's evening is over after going 6 innings, striking out 8. Ran into a big problem in the first inning, but other than that was very good from innings 2 through 6. And Clint Hurdle having a word with Worley between innings.
Yeah, that's a word of respect. But not giving in. Not caving in. Yep. And that's exactly what you would expect of Clint Hurdle. Respecting that, acknowledging that effort. Luis Avellan. A couple of things you should notice: 30 innings, 16 walks. That's a higher number than you would like to have for this left-hander if you're bringing him in. Also, man on 30 has thrown 5 wild pitches. He's Avellan.
Came up with the Braves. He's out of Caracas, Venezuela.
Second trip, I think, this year. At least once previously he was with the Braves and back down. And here he is back up in the big leagues. So, first order of business for Ike, make sure he gets strikes.
Ball 1. Davis hitting .238. 8 home runs, 38 knocked in.
Pirates with a great opportunity.
Like with 2 bucks on the pond right now. 1 out. 1-0 pitch from Avalon. 2-0. Avalon signed by the Braves as a non-drafted free agent back in 2005. Lefty's hitting .294 against him. Righty's even better. And the only home runs he's given up have been to left-handed hitters. Three and 0 to White. White can be very selective now.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see the green light here. Make this guy throw a strike.
Tony Gonzalez starting to get a little concerned in the Braves dugout after they get out to a 6-0 lead.
And he's got a right-hander working briskly in his bullpen.
Gregory Polanco on deck.
David Dale.
And a strike called to Davis.
I like Ike.
Three ball, 1 strike pitch to Davis. And now it's a full count. Pirates with 3 home runs tonight, 3 doubles, beg your pardon, including one from Vance Worley. Walker's got 1 of the home runs. Marte has 2. Marte at third.
I don't think you can be looking for anything but a fastball here.
And Davis. Oh, that's a double play. Worst case scenario just occurred. Well, the twin kill ends the inning, and we're on to the 7th inning at PNC Park. Chris Johnson, and the Pirate threat cooled off on this play here.
Hit the ball right on the button, and such a promising start. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. I've got a big circle around that whole thing. But, hopefully we don't have to come back and look at that in a negative way. Can't hit the ball much harder, but the Adam ball. And now Jeanmar Gomez coming on to see if he can keep it where it is. Been better work for Jeanmar recently. Well, there goes the first 6 Numbers don't look good. 6 runs, 5 of which were earned, 9 hits, a couple of walks, 8 strikeouts look good, but terrific work after the first inning. 5 scoreless.
Well, Genmar will get set to face Freddie Freeman, Justin Upton, and Chris Johnson. First baseman for the Braves is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He has scored a run.
And there will be some people that look at the numbers for Worley and say, well, it doesn't matter. He got knocked around. He gave up 5 earned runs, 6 overall. Yep, he did. You can't ignore that. But every starting pitcher gets knocked around. Sometimes you'll see a guy buckle and just go about his business. Worley did not do that. He gave Clint Hurdle 5 strong innings after that. I have a lot of respect for that.
Freddie Freeman awaiting the next offering from Genmar Gomez. 1 ball and 1 strike to Freeman. Good look in from the Clemente wall.
A lot of people ask me, Tim, what do you think Clemente would be doing at this point if he was 80 years old? My first response, probably the governor of Puerto Rico. If he wanted to pursue that avenue, he had that kind of respect, that kind of clout, that kind of presence. San Juan t-shirt, yeah, that all fits. Only if it was, only thing better would be if it was Carolina, Clemente's hometown.
Today would have been the 80th birthday of Clemente. How many times when you were either on the mound or sitting in the dugout watching him play did he make you just say, wow?
Oh. Now, this is a guy, ball follower, that had a presence kneeling in the on-deck circle. He had a presence, and he'd just go get balls and just make unimaginable throws. And he's one of those, he carried himself at a level that made you want to watch and see everything that he did. You don't want to take your eyes off him. Uncompromising. What a treat if you can visualize this. Just barely missed. Going out to pitch in a major league ball game. You got Hall of Famer Bill Mazeroski on second. You got Hall of Famer Willie Stargell on first. You got Hall of Famer Roberto Clemente in right field. Just hit the ball in that direction. I'm going to go get a sandwich. When I come back, you'll be out. Simple as that. So knock yourself out. The joy of pitching in front of 3 major leaguers, or 3 Hall of Famers, along with the Hebners, with the Olivers, with the Gene Alleys, and it was a great time to be a Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher in that era. Sangy, whatever he would say when he came out to the mound.
You still don't know?
He was great, yeah. Most of the time I did.
3-2 to the right side and through, and a base hit for Freeman.
Got to be such a rhythm with Sangy that I found myself starting to wind up before he would put fingers down, and it was okay.
Yeah.
Because he said, Steve, you don't have to have no singles. He would call the signal singles. No singles, because I catch you whatever you throw, which meant, don't I throw hard enough that it would make it? Oh, no, you know, it's okay, Steve. A lot of those veteran Pirate fans remember Roberto Clemente.
So you're saying that Sangy said that you couldn't cross him up?
You know, he said I could and it wouldn't matter. He could handle it. Yeah, literally that I couldn't cross him up. And the memories of Clemente throwing over the heads of fans from the right field corner at Forbes Field because the stands jutted out within a foot of the foul line, going in back of the guys in the Pirate bullpen in those days, throwing it over their heads toward home plate.
Broken bat roller to short. There's 1. There's 2.
There we go. Just a matter of Josh making sure he caught the ball instead of the bat.
So Upton hits into the double play. And there are 2 gone on the top of the 7th.
It's called getting sawed off. getting into your kitchen.
There was some good bat speed, better than the ball speed, apparently. Bat traveled further. What do you suppose the linear weight of that bat was as it was heading out there?
Oh, I think it was a .14 maybe. And you got to factor that in, whatever it means. Are they going to authenticate that? Don't tell me that's not the case. They're going to authenticate a broken bat?
I don't know. They used to go in the woodpile.
How far we've come. How far we've come.
Johnson takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Chris Johnson tonight with an RBI single, and he has struck out twice looking.
If they put a sticker on the on-deck circle, I'm out of here. It's over for me. They authenticate the on-deck circle.
Steve's going to show up with a sticker on his forehead tomorrow. Steve will be authenticated.
You don't want to authenticate that. No, you don't.
No, you don't want to be authenticated? We know you're the real thing.
Sticker shock.
Bouncer to third, charging is Morel. And he throws out Johnson. Pedro with a stretch. And speaking of the stretch, it's the 7th inning stretch. Stretch time here at PNC Park. Middle of the 7th, 6-3 Atlanta. Going to keep you here for the stretch tonight.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eat Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Get access to the dugout, batting cages, press box, Pirates clubhouse as well. Tours are currently running and continue throughout the season. Tickets start as low as $7, and group pricing is also available. For tickets, visit pirates.com/PNC Park Tours, or you can visit the PNC Park ticket windows also. Bucks looking for at least 3. Don't have to get them all right here, but 1 or 2 would be a good start. Gregory Polanco will lead off. Top of the order up for the Pirates. Bucco's right fielder is 0 for 3 tonight.
Polanco comes up into the conversation too with regards to Roberto Clemente, because somebody asked me about the speed of Clemente, McCutchen, and Polanco, and of course they left Omar Moreno out, who had great speed and was a great base stealer. But the interesting thing about the 3 that I mentioned is the fact that Andrew McCutchen has great speed, but the wheels are really turning. I mean, the legs are really moving a lot. Now Polanco has that longer stride, that long stride, and Clemente was a galloper, so he had 3 pretty good styles of running, but they all got there in time. They all had great speed. Clemente never looked like he was going to get there in time because it was more like a gallop, but he was there. 3 styles of running the bases, all of them fun to watch.
A comebacker. Avalon will turn and throw to first for the out. Polanco's 0 for 4. And now Freddie Gonzalez will come out and get the left-hander out of there. He was just there to face Polanco.
And Davis, and did his job.
So Avalon got the 2 guys out he was supposed to. He heads to the Braves dugout, and a new pitcher coming on.
Retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Pirates.com for details. Folks, tonight here at the ballpark, better than 31,000 of them.
Having a good time. It can get better.
David Hale will come on to pitch for Atlanta. 3rd pitcher used tonight. Right-hander will face Josh Harrison.
Almost as many walks as strikeouts. As 70+ innings of work. Has done some starting for the Braves. 5 starts out of his 35 appearances.
Hale getting ready to go. The 1-0. And the breaking ball in for a strike. Harrison is 1 for 3. Singled his first time up. Struck out in the 3rd. Flying to right in the 5th. Down to 3rd. Johnson picks it up. Goes on to 1st to get him, and there are 2 away. Take a look at our AT&T fan photo tonight. Keep those submissions coming on Twitter using the hashtag #BucksFanPhoto. What do we have? Oh, wow. That is a very, very nice piece right there.
Yeah, shadow box. Yeah, more many tributes.
Thank you for sending those.
Thanks for remembering.
August 18th, 1934. 34.
I told Roberto once that I was going to, if I ever got traded, I was going to pitch him away, or I was going to pitch him inside because everybody pitches him away. He said, "Ross, I'm going to tell you one thing. You pitch me inside, I hit the ball to Harrisburg." I said, "Okay, we're good. That's all I need to hear."
That's all you wanted to hear?
Yep. Okay.
Sounded like he was convincing.
Oh, very convincing, yeah. part of an extended group that went down to the All-Star game in Atlanta in 1972. And one of the neat moments in my baseball life, all fouled away. We got off the plane in Atlanta. He said, Vera and I would like you and Karen to join us for dinner down in Atlanta prior to the All-Star game. That's pretty slick. Pretty neat. Pretty neat evening.
What'd you eat?
Don't remember. I was with the Clementes. we were with the Clementes.
That was the most important thing.
Watch him shine in that World Series. I think Dick Young, the writer from New York, said it the best. He said he played the game with a style we were not accustomed to seeing.
Neil Walker takes a base on balls. He is aboard for the third time.
Well, we need to run into at least one more ball to hit over the fence.
See what Russell can do.
Just to check Mr. Hale's numbers in that category. He's worked 34 ball games. He's only given up a couple of home runs, so he has done good work keeping the ball in the yard.
Pitch inside. Oh, it's called a strike. Backed up Russ a little bit. Well, Hale, you could consider him a local guy for the Braves. He was born in the suburbs of Atlanta in Marietta. Little making a phone call out to the bullpen. Look at that pitch. Yeah, it was inside, but still called a strike. And now Russ
they
takes
get
that
even
one for a ball.
They get even now.
I think that was the that was the equalizer.
Yep.
All right, now you're where you should have been, Russ.
All you want to do is break even in life, right?
No.
Well, you're not going to beat it.
1-1 now to Martin. 2 balls and a strike.
You certainly can get your money's worth. Max it out.
Martin hitting .314 with runners on base. Chopper to the right side. Freeman gets it to Hale just in time.
Nice adjustment.
So the Pirates are done in the 7th. We head to the 8th inning at PNC Park.
Getting to know John Axford, who has only been in black and gold now for about a week, and you know we need your help. That is why the newcomer will be our guest tomorrow on Twitter Tuesday. So please tweet us your questions at Root Sports Pit, but with the hashtag Bucks Tuesday. Very important. Hashtag Bucks Tuesday. We will select a few and see what John has to say tomorrow night on Pirates pregame, and of course during the broadcast. Also, remember the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be here tweeting in the ballpark tomorrow. Antonio Brown. So a busy night for the Twitter sphere tomorrow at the ballpark, guys.
Yeah, it'll be a social media extravaganza. And Steve's right on it.
Yep. I'm going to not be tweeting.
No?
At any point soon. But
well, why not? We've got several requests for you to do it.
Because there's so many in line in front of me. I'll get my turn.
Thanks, Dan.
Meanwhile, let's keep the Braves. Stop the chop. Keep them right here.
Tommy Listello, the second baseman, leading off. He's 1 for 3. Listello, then Gerald Laird, then Emilio Bonifacio, 6, 7, and 8 in the order. There's a line drive right at a leaping Neil Walker. 1 pitch and 1 out. If they could all be that easy.
That'd make pitching a lot more fun. The Braves have not scored since the first inning. Will it be enough, or can the Pirates overtake them?
Light card in baseball tonight. Angels ahead of Boston. Baltimore ahead of the White Sox. Gerald Laird hits this one down the left field side. On the run is Snyder, who's in the seat. Cubs beat the Mets this afternoon. Phillies ahead of Seattle. Nationals and Diamondbacks even at 4 in the 9th. And the Cardinals ahead of Cincinnati. That is foul ball. That foul ball that young man's bringing home probably will not get out of his sight for a long time. So neat to see the faces of youngsters, and the one we had on the telecast yesterday that our crew caught.
There you go. Hi. Hi. Hey. Major League Baseball.
What a great picture. 1-1 pitch. And Laird loops it into left center for a hit.
It seems like that we've hit the ball harder in a volume sense. There's 20 base hits. They've got 11, and certainly they have done well, but the Pirates have had a lot of those atom balls. It is sour grapes. We hit the ball hard several times at people. It's just the way it plays out.
And Bonifacio, the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Reached on an error by Josh Harrison last time in the 6th. Shows bunt, takes a ball. Draws Brent Morel in from third base. Bonifacio does have the ability to put some pressure on the defense with the way he can handle a bat in the short game of baseball. It'll be interesting to hear Pedro's comments after the game on how he has adjusted or how he feels about playing first base. Ryan Domet, who was with the Pirates, had to make a similar adjustment at times, not only to first base but to right field. Domet looks like he's ready to get out there and pinch hit. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Front.
Still going to take some getting used to seeing Pedro holding a guy at first. He's had to handle a couple of tough chances tonight. Off the mark throws. Think, you know, it might be an easy transition, and talked to people who've played the position and who have moved.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot to do. 2, that's outside. And one of the things he was working on today before the game was a throw to second base when he takes the ball from the pitcher, like a left-handed pitcher would throw over and catch a base runner moving in the direction of second base.
That tag. Also working on ground balls, double play situations where he would take the ball, step in to create a better angle where he's not throwing over top of the runner, getting the body squared up with the footwork. That's also one of the items you have to deal with.
Remember when Garrett Jones was here, he had a period of time where he struggled with that throw. And granted, Jones is a lefty, he throws from a different angle. But left-handed or right-handed, and as you mentioned, Steve, you have to create that angle. I mean, moving in on the infield grass if you have to, and make that good throw to second base. And that's the toughest throw probably you have as a first baseman.
Yeah, left-hander has it easier because he can almost create the angle by just reaching out. He's coming from that side of the body.
But there's Fascio hanging in there with a foul ball again, 2-2.
Yeah, cutoffs and bunts and footwork.
Pedro's been getting some advice from Mike Davis. Gabby Sanchez has worked with him earlier in his transition too. So the coaches and his teammates helping him get accustomed to the new position. It's not uncommon though, Steve, to see a guy who hits with power to play both corner infield positions. It's just that Pedro's played third base. He's been a pro.
And that's a reaction position.
Bonifacio slaps one to center field.
That's his game right there. Just contact, bump it over the infield, hope for the best.
And Ryan Domit, former Bucco, coming to the plate.
Good pitch, down and away, off strike zone, off the plate. Those kind of guys, they just wait as long as they can in that little slap swing right at the last moment.
Domit pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot. Hitting just 192. He is a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Domit out of Moses Lake, Washington in the Pacific Northwest. I asked him one time about switch hitting. I said, when did you learn to switch hit? He said, as early as I can remember. My dad put a bat in the hand and he said, you're going to hit this way, now you're going to try it this way. He said he really didn't have a choice. His dad taught him how to switch hit at a very early age.
Always listen to your dad.
1-0 pitch to Domit. Pitch outside. Martin Bluff throws down to second. Laird gets back.
Yeah, he played a little first base. Take a look at Ryan there. A little bit of right field. I remember interviewing him. I said, you know, what is your position? He says, I am a catcher, and that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to be. He's adamant about it.
Gomez set, runners off first and second, one down, 2-0 pitch. And Domit to right field. That's down for a hit. Polanco will come up throwing. Gets it to the cutoff man Pedro, and the bases are full of Braves. Pinch hit single for Ryan Domit. And the Braves now threatening to add on, and Clint Hurdle's going to come out and get Janmar Gomez.
The ball out away, turns it back around.
Well, Gomez relieved of duty, and John Axford coming out of the Pirate bullpen.
especially as a relief pitcher. I mean, that's the situation you want to be in, and to do well in that situation is just a plus.
Don't miss Stan Melinda, Jay Bell, Rich Donnelly, Bob Walk, and Jim Leland recall Game 4 of the Pirates' 1991 NLCS against the Braves on the next Root Sports Classics. Hear their stories while reliving the Bucs' defeat of the Braves in extras to even the series on Bucs Chop Down Braves. Pirates 1991 NLCS Game 4, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. on Root Sports. We're glad you're with us on Root Sports tonight from PNC Park. Game 1 of this brief 3-game homestand. A tough time right now as the Pirates trail by 3 runs, and the Braves have the bases loaded, and John Axford trying to chop his way out of this mess.
And he is a strikeout pitcher. Just a little bit of work for the Pirates so far, a couple innings. 3 strikeouts and a walk.
So Axford takes over for Gomez, former Brewer, Cardinal, Indian, and now pitching for the Bucs. Facing Jason Hayward, delivers inside.
At 94 miles an hour.
Hayward with a home run to lead off the game, and he's had 2 base hits since. 3 for 4 tonight. Pitch inside 2-0. All 3 runners on base, the responsibility of Janmar Gomez. Axford looking for a strike.
Many times it's a matter of being in the strike zone. He certainly throws hard enough. Enough speed.
Two ball, no strike pitch from Axford coming. And Hayward hits this one high to right field and deep. Underneath it is Polanco. Runner tags, throw comes into second. Laird will score. It's now 7-3 Atlanta. And a sacrifice fly by Jason Hayward. His 47th run batted in.
And certainly we all know how the math works. A run now for the Braves. This seems like even a higher hill to climb. Add on to the early 6-0.
Batter is Andrelton Simmons. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Simmons homered in the first. He's 1 for 4, struck out in the 4th. Simmons takes a fastball up high, ball 1. 95 miles an hour. Well, John Axford can throw hard. Took the closer's job in Milwaukee from Trevor Hoffman when Hoffman was rounding out his career. And part of the reason that was the case, the guy at first base, Ryan Doumit. Doumit had hit a home run to win it for the Pirates one night in his last at bat, and then he came in to pinch hit the next night and also hit a home run off of Hoffman. 2 straight nights, and then the next day Axford had the closer's job and Hoffman was coming out of the bullpen elsewhere.
One of the greats, Trevor Hoffman, but nobody does it forever.
Healthy cut by Simmons.
He has not backed off any of his swings. Earlier in the ball game against Vance Worley, I mean, just vicious cuts.
Two ball, 1 strike pitch to Simmons. Well, the strike zone's tightened up at all.
It's been kind of all over the place tonight.
3-1 is in for a strike. Now the count full. 2 outs. Doman will run from first.
That's in the category of unhittable. You throw it that fast downstairs. Tough to do much with it.
Axford's 3-2. That is a foul ball. Everybody was running. Bonifacio and Doman. John Axford claimed off waivers. All the Pirates are on the road trip. Joined him in Washington.
Bones got on it, carries all kind of equipment along with him to take care of those additions.
And Axford strikes out Simmons.
Pulls a string on him.
Took something off it. 7-3 Braves heading to the bottom of the 8th. Collection. Add Andrew McCutchen's game-used bat or Neil Walker's game-used jersey to your personal collection, along with game-used lineup cards, helmets, bases, and more from your favorite Pirates players. To get your authentic Pirates merchandise, visit the Hunt auction booth next time you're at a Pirates game. And they are authentic. Andrew McCutchen will return tomorrow. Pirates have been eagerly anticipating his return.
Well, changes for the Braves as we look for more offense here in the bottom of the 8th. Phil Gosselin takes over at second base. And the new Braves pitcher is left-hander James Russell. Santana, Avilan, Hale, and Russell.
Pedro has seen this song, heard this song before, I should say. Russell was the guy who would be called out of the Cubs bullpen to specifically face Alvarez late in ball games. Pedro is 3 for 13 against Russell with 1 home run. And he swings and hits this one well to center field, but Bonifacio is there. 1 out for the Pirates in the 8th.
The left-hand specialist. That's number 54. he a specialist? He's 53 games, 39 innings. That's a specialist.
Now Marte has had himself a heck of a night. He's in there, takes the first pitch, 3 for 3, 2 home runs and a double. Tied his career high with 11 total bases in a game. How about this, Steve? In the 5th inning in St. Louis, Reds got a big home run from Jay Bruce, and they have overcome a 3-0 Cardinal lead. It's now Cincinnati 4, St. Louis 3.
Like it.
Marte pulls this one foul. Have a day, Marte. Boom. That's one. Right off the padding and up and over.
Bigger boom.
And this one's 2. And this one in the gap for a double. Marte, a little swinging bunt, and this will go foul. Russell touch it to make sure it's foul ball. 1-2 to Starling Marte. Washington is in extra innings for the 2nd straight night. They're 4-4 with the Diamondbacks at this point in time. Close game there. Marte getting set to stand back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Nobody on. Pitch from Russell. That's up by 2-2. James Russell, the 4th pitcher used by Freddie Gonzalez tonight. Marte to right field and deep, but Hayward's got to play on. Three for 4 for Marte, 2 out in the 8th inning. No Marte parte this time. Russell now will face another lefty in Travis Snyder. Snyder's 2 for 3 tonight, a single and a double. Also flied out to the wall in right field in the 4th. And he rips this one down to Freeman.
Slick play.
Glove save and a beauty. And it's a 1-2-3-8 for James Russell in the Braves. Look like the rest of this short series. Veteran Aaron Harang will go for the Braves. He's 15-7 all time against the Pirates. Pirates put Francisco Liriano on the hill. He has a 1.89 ERA in 6 starts since the All-Star break. Sunday, Alex Wood faces Garrett Cole, who will be coming off the disabled list. Wednesday rather, not Sunday. On Wednesday, it'll be Garrett Cole and Alex Wood. That's your road ahead. Getting back on the horse tomorrow night. 3-9 his record, and certainly he's had some hard luck losses, especially here in the second half.
Not the guy you want to match up with in Detroit, was it?
No. And looking forward to seeing Garrett Cole's return on Wednesday night.
So is Garrett Cole.
Been out for a while. 4 rehab starts rather for Cole. His last one was dominant against Louisville.
Numbers for Justin. Yeah, you get Cole and McCutchen back the same week. That's certainly good news.
And Justin Wilson pitching on his 27th birthday, facing Freeman. That is past Morrell and into left field. Broken bat, base hit.
Another example of a ball that had eyes on it. Out of the reach of Brent Morrell. Brent Morrell not getting to that ball.
Freeman aboard. Justin Upton at the plate. Last time Freeman had a leadoff single was in the 7th, and then Upton came up and promptly hit into a double play. Strike 1 to Justin Upton. 2 for 4 in the game. A single in the first, scored a run, single in the second, and was stranded. Wilson's pitch in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
I think I would guess that Justin Wilson throws at about 92 miles an hour when he's playing catch.
He's got a strong left arm. Well, we've seen him range from 101 on down, not this year, but last year in Anaheim. Playing near his home, he cranked it up, and he cranks up strike 3 right there. Upton gone looking.
Not gone quite yet. There he goes. Not looking particularly pleased. See if he's got a case. Not really. You don't want to take that pitch and get rung up.
Justin Upton not in the best of moods right now after that at bat. Chris Johnson fouls it off for strike 1. Johnson has struck out twice tonight. He does have a hit. He's 1 for 4. RBI single back in the first inning. No balls, 1 strike. And Wilson's pitch. That's in for a strike. 0-2. Good to see him throwing a lot of strikes. With a strike to Freddie Freeman, blew up his bat, but the ball ended up in left field for a hit. Got Upton on 3 pitches. Now is ahead of Johnson on 2 pitches. And to right field, that's down for a single. Second hit of the inning.
Proving once again, if you look for 96-mile-an-hour speed, many times you can make some solid contact. You get that swing started early enough. And I think that's what happens many times. They're looking for that fastball at 95, 96. They start the swing early, and if they get a breaking ball that even bounces in the dirt, they've committed so early they can't stop the swing, and that's why you get those swings and misses at balls you would think nobody'd swing at.
Phil Gosselin's first at bat came in at second base for La Stella. Takes ball 1. 310 the average. Just 15 games for Gosselin. Home run, 2 knocked in. Middle infielders looking for 2. First and second, and 1 out. There's the 1-0. It's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gosselin. Gosselin was called up on the 26th of July. Second time he's been on the major league roster. Two and one. Gosling, at the time when he was called up in late July, led the International League in hits with 130. So pretty good hitting prospect for the Braves. 2-1. That is shot right off the front of the Braves dugout on the first base side. Scrambled a couple of his teammates. And now the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two. Trying to go inside and missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count to Gosselin. 2 on. Braves batting in the top of the 9th inning. 15 hits for Atlanta tonight. 9 for the Pirates. The Braves came out hitting right out of the gates tonight, putting 6 of their 7 runs up in the first inning. Gosselin pops this one up. Pedro, infield fly. So Gosselin automatically out. There are 2 gone. Gosselin pops into the infield fly. In the infield fly rule, first and second, or first, second, and third, less than 2 outs. And fly ball in the infield. Batter is automatically out. It's basically to prevent it against an infielder purposely dropping it and getting an easy double play.
What a dirty trick that would be.
That would be dirty. But that's why the rule's there. Laird takes up high. Gerald Laird, a couple of hits tonight and an RBI. 2 for 4. He's also hit into a double play. The pitch to Laird. Swung on a bouncer towards short. Harrison goes the short way to force the base runner there. Last wraps for the Bucks. Trailing 7-3 going to the bottom of the 9th. Pirates had some offense going with the long ball earlier in the game. They need some offense now going to the bottom of the ninth. 7-3 Atlanta.
Yeah, the problem, linear numbers. Singletons, home runs, solo shots.
A couple of guys on, you never know. Well, the fans hoping for some magic here late. Brent Morel will lead off. He's 0 for 3. Struck out twice.
Now leave Russell in. Kimbrel available if needed, but not needed right now.
Buccos needing base runners. Morel to face James Russell. Ball 1. Cubs and Braves have pulled off a number of deals in recent years. We were at Wrigley Field when a couple of them went down, and Paul Maholm was sent from the Cubs to the Braves. Reed Johnson, same day. And there have been other deals, including this one involving James Russell.
Has anybody been busier than the Cubs the last couple of years?
They have been very busy restocking the shelves. Watch out. That was a hot shot over the first base dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brent Morel. Cubs won today, by the way, beat the Mets this afternoon 4-1 in New York. Russell's former team. Here's the 2-2 on the way. And Morel strikes out looking. 1 down for the Pirates in the 9th. Tough nut at the plate for Morel.
Tough night at the corners offensively for the Bucks.
So with 1 out, Gabby Sanchez will pinch hit in the 9 spot. Breaking ball misses. 232 the average for Gabby. 6 homers. 26 runs batted in. Russell's pitch. Sanchez fouls it off. 1-1. So you look at the schedule, Steve. You got the difference in the wild card of a game and a half coming into this one. You've got 37 games remaining. Oh, there's a shattered bat down to third base. Johnson throws him out. 2 gone. Bucks down to their final out. But the point is, you got a lot of time to make up that ground. 37 games. That's a lot of games.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. You got 6 weeks left of the season. You don't want to be waiting around either. You get in these kind of skids, you just got to. It's like the first thing. Eventually, you got to stop the momentum that's going in the wrong direction. Get a win, and then get another win. You want them all in a bunch because you see the end of the finish line, but it doesn't work that way. You got to play a game, and you got to play another game.
1-0 pitch to Polanco.
It's amazing the perspective you have to have. You can't do anything about anything that's happened in the past, and you can't play September games in August. You got to play tonight. You got to play tomorrow night.
1-1 delivery. And now the Pirates down to their final strike tonight. That's the mentality you got to have in baseball. Yesterday's happened. Can't do anything about it. Focus on the game at hand. I mean, do what you can. That's the difference of baseball because it's an everyday sport. 2-2. These guys are all wired that way. Can't let yesterday bother you. And McCutchen cannot wait for tomorrow because he's going to be in the lineup.
Is that official, or we're still hoping?
I would say it's pretty good. We heard from Andrew himself that he was ready to go tomorrow, and I think Clint Hurdle hasn't committed to it publicly yet, but I would say the chances are great he's going to be in there tomorrow. 3-2 should do it as Simmons will throw on to first to get Polanco, and the Braves take game 1. And the Pirates have now dropped their season high 6 straight.
The hill was just too hard to climb. The early offense by the Braves, as they put up a 6th spot in the first inning. They only scored one more time, but the pitching was effective. We got 3 home runs, solo shots, and that was it for the offense. So the first one goes to the Braves. Simple as that. So too much early offense against.
Atlanta has now won 4 straight. They go to 65 and 60. The Pirates 64 and 61, and Bucks try to get even with them tomorrow night, same time. Final score 7-3. Atlanta wins this ball game. Let's go back to our Root Sports studios where Rob King is standing by. Rob.